Billy D here with I have so many awesome friends in this profession, I'm saying. And I truly love you like I love a lot of people. But Brian Kelly, Dr. Brian Kelly from Life West Chiropractic, president, and we're here for a career night, right?
That's right. I think it's the fourth one you've hosted here, which is, we've had a lot of fun. Had a lot of people come through.
Right, right.
Some of them are now in school, and I think 2 of them are about to graduate.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I was talking to Dr. Brian or Dr. Kelly about some of my visions. Obviously, I have visions of obviously getting chiropractic, the message to the world, and we're growing with CalJam, and the goal is eventually to be in festivals and huge stadiums, which we'll get there. It's just a matter of time. But with what we're doing, there's no way we wouldn't attract a lot of people to wanting to be chiropractors, because once you hear chiropractic and what it's about, I mean, there's not a better profession on the planet.
It just makes sense.
Right.
It's a good story, and it works.
And it works.
Yeah.
And
if it was just a good story, that's a good story.
Right.
But my greatest experience was with my kids. My son's now 21, my daughter's 19. So if you add that up, that's 21 and 19, 40 years of human life. My youngest daughter's 11, so 51 years. Healthiest kids I know.
Of course.
And
I mean, you see it in your practice all the time.
You see it over and over.
You see it in your practice. The ones that are chiropractic, unvaccinated, are just light years ahead of the ones that have been, in my opinion, poisoned and not getting chiropractic and more medical care and drugs. And I mean, it's just, you can't take a small child or individual and pump toxins in it and expect to have a good outcome from it. But with attracting a lot of people into chiropractic, I really want to help you build that school as much as I can. That's one of my huge visions, because I mean, just like I had a patient came to CalJam once. She was 62 and she was crying, and I go, Sandy, why are you crying? She goes, this event was so amazing. If I wasn't so old, I'd go to chiropractic school right now. Because I mean, it is. I can't think of a better profession on the planet.
Do you have her name?
What's that?
Do you have her name? We can call her.
I changed it just for HIPAA reasons.
Okay.
Yeah. She's probably about 67 now, though. Because that was like the original CalJam. I think she said that to me. Right. So I knew I was on the right track.
That's not 8 years ago? 9?
8 years ago.
Nice.
Don't be pushing it. 8's enough.
Nice.
But and my other thing is, I really don't want to support institutions that aren't really supporting what I feel is real chiropractic. I mean, do you have any opinion on that? Or can you voice that opinion? I know you kind of walk that.
Yeah. Well, I think if you have certain views or values or philosophies on the profession, then they're the ones we need to support.
Right.
It could be a professional association.
Right.
I'm on the board of the ICA, and they're the ones who hold the line about subluxation, no drugs.
Right.
Have done for nearly 100 years. And there's certainly some chiropractic colleges that have a focus on the nervous system, subluxation,
Right.
A vitalistic approach, even a metatherapeutic approach, meaning you can see people whether they have conditions or symptoms or not. And it's just a bigger vision of chiropractic. So
Right.
I often meet people and they say, well, I'll send my son, daughter, patient, nephew to the local chiropractic college because it's closer, and I know they don't teach philosophy.
Too, right.
I know they don't teach philosophy, but I can teach them on the weekends. And my answer to that is, why would you put someone through 4 years of a program that's incongruent with your own philosophy?
Right. I mean, it's just because they're geographically, a better place to go. But I mean, it's only 3 or 4 years out of your life, and I mean, that may sound like a lot of time then, but when you look at the big picture, I mean, I've been in practice for 30 years. And but it took me 2 years to figure a chiropractic out after graduation, and I don't want people to have to go through that learning curve. And I really learned real chiropractic outside of school. I mean, at the time, I paid a good sum of money to go to school, nothing like the students are paying today. And I feel if you are going to get into the profession, you want to go to what I feel is the Harvard of chiropractic, which happens to be your college. Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it.
Well, thank you. But if in relative terms, education's more expensive today, and it is, there's no doubt about that, then that's more important reason to go to an institution that's going to prepare you for the real world practice of chiropractic.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Life West, I mean, you can teach business sense too, correct? And you've also got a lot of different techniques the students can learn. They get philosophy. I mean, how else can you say that your school, in our philosophical viewpoints, would be a better school for someone to attend if they really want to practice a vitalistic form of chiropractic? What other things do you offer?
Well, we cover the business aspect, so we regularly bring in guest speakers. We're now rebooting the whole the whole chiropractic centre experience. You know, the intern experience. Dr. Tim's Gay's up there and doing an awesome job. We're about to remodel that. It's going to resemble, or as closely resemble as we can, a real world experience. And then there's huge opportunities outside the classroom. We take our students away for 3 days on a camp called Life 101. We've just done our 8th Life 101 camp up in the Sierra Mountains. And it's this 3-day exploration of sort of looking inside and asking the question, you know, who am I? What are my values? What are my limiting beliefs? What are my fears? And what's my purpose? Mm-hmm. And we've now done that 8 times at Life West, and it's awesome. In fact, the students all want a Life 102, and so we're looking at that as well.
Let me ask you, what do you have any like 10-year goals, or what do you look that far down the road? Or
you mean 10-year, like am I there forever? Oh,
no,
10-year, right? 10-year.
No, not 10-year.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the long-term goals for your? What is your vision for Life West, say in 5 or 10 years?
Well,
can you share that with people?
Absolutely.
I
mean, for me, the long-term vision of chiropractic, our institution's a part of that, but I look at it from humanity, and I look at it from chiropractic, and we need more chiropractors. We need more chiropractors practicing more effectively,
right?
Because we need more people under chiropractic care,
right?
And so to do that, we need stronger institutions and bigger institutions. So we're currently growing. We're growing fast, and we're going to keep growing. And if we outgrow our campus, we'll build a new campus.
Would you ever consider coming down here to Southern California? Or do you like it up in the cold of the...
the Northern California?
Because, I mean, I could feel... I mean, there's so many people that I come in contact with that I send to, you know, the local college here, which I don't really feel like I'd rather support your school because, I mean, I truly love you as a person, and I love the direction you're taking the profession. And it's, in my opinion, real chiropractic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we're giving it our best shot, and there's some other exciting things. We have Dr. Bruce Lipton just rejoined the faculty. He teaches an elective course called The Science of Vitalism. We had 200 people enroll in that, and some local chiropractors, and it's just cutting edge. And here's a guy who was doing stem cell research in the 1960s, you know, 3 decades before it was even on the radar.
Right.
And now he's gone from the microscope to the macrocosm. So, you know, Dan Murphy's been with us 32 years. Malik Schlossberg's coming up 30.
Wow.
Jim Hawkins has taught every Life West graduate. We've now moved him part-time in the classroom, and he's now an alumni ambassador, just getting out and connecting with our docs out in the field. But if we say where do we want chiropractic to be, we've got to have a higher level of certainty, a deeper understanding of philosophy. We've got to move back towards the spine and the nervous system. We have to be better adjusters, better communicators, and we need to be taking care of more people.
And you have to run a viable business.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So they can give back as alumni.
Right, and to give back to research and support students and scholarship. I mean, there's a whole... You know, there's no shortage of money. The question is, where is it? And right now, $1 in every $6 in the United States, 18% of our economy is tied up in sickness care. Right. So if people got healthy, we wouldn't have a recession overnight. We'd have a depression.
Right.
San Francisco Bay Area, they just opened their 4th new hospital this year.
Right.
So unfortunately, our economy's tied to it. Mm-hmm. And you know, if you look at the main companies on the stock market, a number of them are pharmaceuticals, and if they tanked, you know,
I don't think it'll ever tank, but I mean,
we could aspire to that.
Right, we could aspire to that. Yeah. Or anything else in closing?
Well, I think tonight I want to thank you for having us here. I think this is our 150th career night. Last night we're up in Portland. Last week we're in Scotland. Mary Flannery's been in Hawaii this week.
You were in Scotland when?
Last week.
Wow. You travel more than I do.
I travel a little bit. I met a pilot once on Southwest Airlines, and we compared notes, and I did more miles in a year than he did.
Jeez.
But
can I ask you one more question? A little more. How is your school doing? I mean, obviously you've got growth, but how are the other chiropractic schools doing comparatively?
Well, the problem is for the last, I think the number's 6 years, there's been no growth in the enrollment in chiropractic colleges in the US. It's flatlined at about 10,000. Within that 10,000, some have a stable enrollment. Some have declined, and some are obviously growing. 3 or 4 of them are growing, and we're one of them that's growing. And I want to thank everyone for their referrals.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the people who become a chiropractor, they're the ones who are going to go out and make the difference.
Sure.
We're just the conduit.
Right. All right, brother.
Hey, rock and roll.
You're going to come out to Cal Jam and play
playing the trombone.
Yeah.
We got a kick-ass horn section. And
well, you got to give me their numbers. Though.
Okay.
All right. We're signing out. Peace and love. Dr. Brian Kelly and Billy D. Rock and roll. This video is sponsored by my friends over at mychiropractic.com, custom branding and web design for successful chiropractors. I love these dudes because they're raising the image of chiropractic, and I really thank them for supporting all of our videos. Rock and roll.